Start. Right, so good evening, welcome. A few technical glitches, that's why I'm recording and sending to everybody. So we have our white cabbage, and what we're going to do is we're going to peel the external leaves of your white cabbage. I could only find a small one, so this is me, and it's breaking off. Ideally, you'll break off the whole leaf. We're going to use those at the end. So what you need to do is just take your knife or shredder, and what we want to do is, we want to shred the cabbage. We want to make it really thin pieces because this is something we're going to be lifting with the fork when we eat it. So if you have any questions along the way, just ask. I'm literally cutting slivers here, and I'll explain a few things while we're doing this process, and we should be done in 30 minutes. I hope. Again, apologies for the technical issues. So first of all, let me say I'm not a fermentationist. I don't have a degree in these things, but I've been, why am I not the one in the big screen? Excuse me, let me see. Pin, because let's see, pin. There we go. Now you see me. Great. So using the shredder or the big knife, we're just going to cut slivers. Oh yes, no, I was saying that I'm not a fermentationist. I am a health and nutrition coach, but I've been fermenting for the 4 or 5 years for our family's health and for my clients' health. It is a very cheap, nutritious way to get probiotics into you, and a very healthy way to get probiotics into you because you get a variety of bacteria. When we take probiotics, it's to improve your gut health. It's to improve the type of bacteria that are living in your intestines. And 80% of our immune system is located in our intestines, in our gut. So it makes sense to do everything we can to support it. So you could buy probiotics if you're buying some good ones, you want to pay at least 20 to 30 euro minimum, I think, to buy a good quality probiotics. Quality matters with probiotics. This cost me 99 cents. The Himalayan salt, we're only going to use a tablespoon. So it's a no-brainer. The thing with these foods is that you need to keep making them. What happens with probiotics is that you get these bacteria if they survive the stomach acid, which no one can tell you if they do. If they survive the stomach acid, they then go and reside in your intestines. They'll only stay there for about a week. After that, they'll be flushed out together with everything else that's eliminated. So that's why probiotics, it's good to keep them coming. Just keep them coming in a nice steady amount, and slowly you'll start changing who is living in your intestines, and that will start changing your overall health. I would definitely say that I had irritable bowel syndrome for most of the years of my life, and now I don't. And these would have been the biggest part of why I'm okay now. Obviously, I'm eating a lot healthier too since I became a health coach, so that helped. But these guys are the ones that really make a difference. Now, I usually work with people who want to lower blood pressure or lower the blood sugar readings, but I also do gut health, and I do online programs that feel good to have more energy and maybe lose a bit of bloating around the belly. This food would contribute to all these things, and blood pressure and the blood sugar and losing weight from the waist, which, by the way, the stuff around the waist is inflammation. It's not necessarily you've put on weight, you've had too much. It's inflammation. The system is stressed. This helps you burn fat. It also helps reduce cravings. When I find myself going for the chocolate or for the something a bit too often, just say straight after the holidays, which happened to me after Easter, I knew that I really needed to make sure the sauerkraut was in my diet daily, and it worked. So keep shaving here. So all you need really is a forkful a day of some kind of fermented vegetable. Sauerkraut is a nice autumn winter one, again, because it's really high in vitamin C, and when you ferment, the fermentation process increases the bioavailability of whatever is in the food you're fermenting. So you get a lot of vitamin C, so your immune system is helped a lot. So that's why it's a good one for the winter months. However, following the 2 months, the 2 years we've had, we're going to need to support our immune system all year round. So let's make our sauerkraut here. The white cabbage is also high in vitamin B1, which helps the heart, and in vitamin B9, the folate, which helps your energy, and it's great against things like fatigue, and high vitamin C, like we said. So when we ferment it, you are actually going to get, for each mouthful, you're going to get a hell of a lot more B1 and B9 and vitamin C. Sauerkraut is actually the food with the highest amount of vitamin C in it from a food. Of course, you can get a vitamin, but here you're getting something that the body understands because it's come from food. So you're not going to get any nasties. You're not going to get ascorbic acids. You're not going to get preservatives. And because you've made it, it's your bacteria. Now, I find this process of shredding very therapeutic. You can also put it in your shredder if you have it. So you can also do put it in the food processor. But yes, the one time I did it, I didn't particularly like it. This feels more traditional, more handmade, more homey, you know. So yeah. So just to say, you can make it a lot faster if you put it in a food processor, but where's the fun? Right, so shredding here. What else do I want to say about this? Yes, we do ferments once a month, the last Wednesday of every month. I was going to stop in summer. However, again, because of COVID in the last 2 years, I think it's important that we just take it as something that happens in our lives, and we make ferments. Then at least everybody who's with me, you can keep making a ferment. Whenever I'm making a supply, you could make a supply. So, and then we just go on, and then it becomes habit. I'm doing the workshops because I found that I wouldn't sit and make my own supply. And then you kind of get a few weeks where you don't have any. And then from the time you make it, you have to wait a couple of weeks before it's ready for you to eat. So this workshop is also keeping me accountable to my gut. It means that I can keep a steady supply going. And for my family, for my friends, when I have some of my clients get some too. So again, if we can all spend an evening a month just making something fermented, we'll have a constant supply. And then hopefully you won't find yourselves needing antibiotics. If you do, you'll be confident knowing that you've been eating sauerkraut, you've been eating fermented food, so you're getting some homemade probiotics in, so the antibiotics won't do as much damage as they would do if you weren't doing something for yourself. So this will help. It will help reduce inflammation. And the root cause of any disease, any diagnosis, anything going wrong is there's inflammation somewhere. Something's inflamed, something not allowed to work properly. So, yeah. So what else? Shall I tell you a few of the conditions that sauerkraut specifically, well, fermented vegetables are good for? Are you almost done? Are you finished?
Yeah.
You're finished. Right. Oh. What we want is we're going to weigh it. Let's weigh it, and I'll tell you the conditions in a minute. Now, I've got my, what is this? My bowl on the scales. Forgot to mention you need scales. You okay, John? You got scales? Yeah, great. Okay, so bowl on the scales, we're looking for 800 grams of cabbage. So let's put it in, make sure you have any big pieces, I'll take them out and chop them up again. So let's go for 800. And we're only going for 800 because that's the salt I can calculate. There's 800 grams of sauerkraut, needs a tablespoon of salt. So that's easy to remember. Now 300. You know what? I've got some big pieces. I'm just going to literally try and keep my sleeve out of my food.
Okay, I've got 700.
You've got 700. Okay,
Yeah.
just put if that's it, then you've got no more. That we'll just put a bit less sugar in yours. Sugar, salt. Goodness gracious. Gosh, I must say I'm beginning to worry if I'm going to be reaching it. Well, you tell me what your grams are. We'll calculate the salt content.
Shh, Pip. Pip, up. We're gonna go outside. Naughty boy.
Lovely. How are we doing? So yeah, Felicity 700.
Yeah, I'm just putting a little bit more just in case.
Joanne?
I have 900.
Oh, perfect. Well, we can put a little bit more than a tablespoon in there.
Okay.
How is your jar? What size is your airtight jar?
It's about a liter.
Oh, perfect. Oh, perfect. Okay, so no, we want the 900. Yes.
Okay.
We want the 900. Now, mine is 500, I'm going to tell you. This is pathetic. There's a very small.
700.
Get a bit more just to round it up to 600, and then we'll move on to the next step. Let me see there. 550. Right. Now, so 800 grams of cabbage requires 1 tablespoon of fine Himalayan salt.
When you say tablespoon, you mean soup spoon, right?
Yes. I'll make this heaped.
Oh,
Yeah, I
okay.
can do. I'll do tablespoon as well. Let's do tablespoon. I don't have the measuring one. It's in the dishwasher. Okay, do that. I would do this flat.
Okay, so that's a soup spoon.
Well, I've been calling it tablespoon, and it works.
Yeah, it's just do you eat soup with it, or do you serve with it?
I eat soup with it.
Okay.
I'll make it heaped. So make a little mountain on top. That's okay. It won't be success failure if we're a little bit off. So you're okay.
Okay.
Right. Okay, 600. So all we're doing is we're taking a tablespoon of salt and we're sprinkling it over our cabbage, and then we're going to mix it up. If I can get into my salt, that is. There we go. Yeah, so I'm gonna do a heaped tablespoon. So sprinkle the salt over it, and now we're gonna get in there with our hands. Wrong shirt for this. And we're going to go in and massage it and press it down, get the salt everywhere, so that it brings the liquid out of the cabbage. I just want to clean my hands again, because I've been touching all the utensils and stuff. Right, and what we're doing now is the salt is going to break it down, break the fiber down, start a pre-digestion process, and the liquid will come out, and you'll find that the cabbage is sitting in its own brine. So it's kind of it's brilliant, and it's a good workout for our arms. Now, and while we're doing that, we're just squeezing and stepping on it, punching it down. And just keep going there. I'm already seeing a bit of shininess coming out of it. We'll just keep going. And while we're doing that, I'm going to read you the conditions for which fermented vegetables are very good for. What they, if people have these conditions, they would be supported by adding the sauerkraut in their life. So, acne. By the way, anything to do with the skin is something to do with the gut. Acne, allergies and environmental allergies, asthma, any autoimmune disorders, candida infections, constipation, any kind of ferment helps with that, depression, type 2 diabetes, diarrhea, dysbiosis. That's generally when your gut is just not balanced. So you'll have some other symptom going on, and it could be due to dysbiosis. Eczema, psoriasis, heartburn, leaky gut. That would be when you get things like IBS. It's things are going where they shouldn't go through your intestine lining. Yeah, it's when foods affect you, basically. Obesity or overweight, ADD or ADHD, stress tolerance. So this makes you more tolerant to life's stresses, and if you're underweight. There are other conditions where you need to check on a case by case if they're good for them. But if you know anybody that has any of those conditions, it's worth mentioning. Have you thought of fermented vegetables? There we go. You're getting in it, Joanne.
I'm getting in there now.
Brilliant. Now look at this. I don't know if you can see all this liquid.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm getting a bit of liquid too now.
It's just dripping. It's brilliant. It's made it softer. Yeah, and it's just dripping now. So for me, that's okay. Brilliant. So how I use fermenting with clients, and it's helped every single time. So I do believe in it. It's homemade probiotics. A bit of a hassle to make it, but it's really worth it. That's why doing a workshop once a month is worth it, because then we're all together, we can have a chat and make it all together, and then that's it, it's done. You'll have a
Emily, I couldn't find Himalayan salt. I just got the fine sea salt. That's okay?
Yes, sea salt though. Yes,
Yes,
that's
bit of
fine,
sea
sea salt. Health food stores.
Oh, okay.
Have you been to the Height of Health in Dundalk?
No, I haven't.
Great source of these, all this stuff. You know on Clanbrassil Street.
Yes, I must look for it. I do
Yes,
know.
yes, they'll have everything. That's a great place. That'd be a good place to go for bone broths as well.
Okay. I got some rooibos and super value from a local lady in Termonfeckin, Lily's tea.
Very good. Yes, they're very nice.
I'm going to unmute myself with this dog barking. Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. So there's another girl, Felicity, has another dog there.
Yeah.
She barks at the birds.
Oh yes, mine does too. I thought my dog was just weird.
Two weird dogs.
Yes.
Well, something's flying in their territory.
Yeah, but it's birds.
Yeah. Right. Let me know when you've got a bit of liquid.
Yeah, I've got loads of liquid. Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't yet, but it's getting wet.
It's getting wet, right? We'll give you a minute and then we'll start putting it in the jar. This stuff can last into the fridge up to 6 months. You just take a forkful. Now, it never does last 6 months if you're taking a forkful, but it's good to know that it does. We'll label them though, so we'll know what we've got. Great. Right. You're seeing a bit of liquid, Joanne?
Not really, but maybe I should put more salt in because I've got a bigger amount.
Did you put a bit more than a tablespoon?
I put a really big heaped tablespoon, but maybe I'll put
Right,
a little bit
okay,
more.
that could cover us. Yeah, give it a, yeah.
Yeah, maybe I'm just not rough enough with it.
Could be. Well, what we're going to do next, and we can see, is we're going to start putting it into our jar. And I use one of these Kilner jars. You want a thing without the elastic band, what it's called. You want an airtight container because it's an anaerobic process. And because every time I've done it with a non-airtight container, it goes moldy. So, you know, let's just be safe. So we're going to just take handfuls of this and put it into our jar. We're going to put handfuls in and press it down. We don't want any air, but we also want all the liquids to come out. So you can see there, can't you? Yes. So we're just going to keep loading. Actually, I'll pause. Have you started, Felicity?
Yeah, what?
Right. No, I'm going to take you. I want to put some flavoring in it.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to put it back a little bit. Now, it's a little bit bland, this one. Purple cabbage is lovely by itself. This one's quite bland. So to put a bit of flavor in, we can put something in like cloves is one thing. But easy ones are garlic or carrot pieces. Like you could shred it like you shredded this. But because of my hands being like this and because the garlic's easier, I'm going to go for garlic, because that's another very good food for your immunity and for your gut health. So I'm just going to take 2. I think that, yeah, 2 should be enough. Now you could do cloves. If you can imagine what the taste would be like, you could do cloves. You could do caraway seeds, juniper berries. You could really put anything you wanted. I like it simple. So I'm just add things like garlic or carrots, not too complicated. You guys have dogs. I've got 2 children. Guys, can you be a bit quieter, please? Yes. Yeah. So what I'm going to do with the garlic, I'm just going to cut it in slivers. This will also ferment with the cabbage. And it is a brilliant food to eat for stomach health. It's a brilliant thing to eat if you're getting a cold. It really boosts your immune system, and it really has inside it all the stuff that the good gut bacteria like to eat. Oh, that's the other thing about having a ferment. Not only is it a probiotic like the probiotic you buy, it also naturally contains prebiotics, which is what the probiotics eat. It's their food. It's substances that we cannot digest, but the intestinal bacteria digest. So that means you're getting these probiotics in your intestines, but you're also providing the food for them to stay there and flourish and multiply. So overall, you can see how it means your health would increase, your health status would get a lot better. Now, I've just got these slivers of garlic. I've got, for my little sauerkraut, I've got 2 garlics in here. You know what? I'm going to put 3 because why not? Because it's quite bland, the white one. I don't make it often. I usually make purple, but it's nice to change. And purple's very nice in winter. So I'm just doing white now, because again, health is in eating a variety of stuff. So I've had purple twice now, and I didn't make this again because it's bland. So I'm going to put more garlic in. So there we go. Put the garlic into my jar, into my bowl. You can't see this out the camera, doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Now, again, you could put carrots, you could put cloves, peppers, maybe. So let me just mix it up. We don't need to squish it more. Is yours got liquid, Joanne?
It's gone a little bit liquidy, yeah. So I'm onto the garlic now.
The jar, there'll be more, I'm sure. Now, let me get this out. You can put it in the one big jar. You can put it into little ones, whatever suits how you use your fridge, where you're going to put it in your fridge. You can ferment it in one big jar and then separate it out to little screw top jars once it's ready.
Okay.
Right, I'm gonna pick up speed here. Right, so I've just mixed up my shredded garlic with the, with the cabbage. Considering I'm making cabbage, I shouldn't be forgetting that word, but there you go. So putting handfuls of the cabbage with a little bit of garlic into my jar and pressing down each time, because then that also brings liquid up. Pressing it down. Right. You know what? Now what's happened to me is I've got too much jar and too little sauerkraut. The jar is too big. I don't want so much air. It's like half the jar is empty. So I'm going to move it to my smaller jar. I only want 2.5 centimeters from the top because it's an anaerobic process. I don't want it full of air in this jar. Right, I'm going to show you the one anyway. I've got more smaller jars that I can put this in. Right, we're pushing it all down. And you should see the brine, like it's got its own brine. All this liquid needs to rise above our cabbage. Is that happening for you?
2 seconds.
I'm not at the stage of putting it in just yet.
Oh, right, okay, okay.
Yes, mine has got enough to cover it.
Okay, so what I've done is I've brought it up to, I can take a bit more, I think.
I've got quite a bit of space at the top.
Let me see. Bring it a bit closer. That's not too bad. It's not too bad. It's okay. And you'll use your cabbage. You had a big cabbage, so you can use your cabbage leaves.
Okay.
Right. Now, are we putting in now?
No, I'm mixing up the garlic now.
Ah, okay. Yeah, that won't need a lot. Just a little bit, just to get it everywhere.
I just have like a really small bit of brine at the bottom. So maybe I should just keep doing this, should I?
When you put it in the jar, you're going to press it down, so we're going to get the liquid there.
Okay, I'll start putting it into the jar
Yeah,
then.
but yeah, don't be scared of it. Give it a good punch. Press it down. Right. So Felicity, you've got that. You've got your leaves. Have you got your leaves?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Hang on. We'll just put the handful in, and then does your hand fit through there to press it down?
No, it doesn't actually.
Right. Wooden stick. Have you got a wooden spoon or a wooden?
Yeah, I got a wooden spoon.
Get that. Yes. Let's get that. So Felicity, you press it down.
Yeah.
And yeah, you've got your cabbage leaf. You fold it up, fold it into a parcel-like thing. I'll go over this again with you, Joanna. I'm just conscious we'll stop.
That's okay.
Yeah, I'm just going to show how we do this, and then we'll go back for you. Yeah, press it down and put the next. Right. Or you can do the head of the cabbage. There it is. Oh, hang on. I need a sip. I've got my fermented drink. So we're going to press it down to submerge it. Right. Let me pause here.
Yeah, you see that mine's not really
recording. So we all have our sauerkraut ready, and you need to weigh it down because the cabbage will naturally try to go up in the liquid. You need to weigh it down. Now you can use a stone from the beach, which I've collected a few and just given a little wash. You can use a candlestick holder. You can just plunk it down. We just want something that will keep everything submerged. Or you can use, that's the great thing about cabbage, you can use the leaves you took off at the start. So just fold them like a little parcel to fit the width of the opening and press it down. Now this, because it's thicker than the shredded pieces we did, it won't ferment. You don't need that submerged in any liquid. You just need to make sure that everything you shredded is submerged. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to stop there because one leaf is doing it. I'm already pressing it down. I'm seeing a little bit of liquid come up, but it's very liquidy, mine. Okay, and then got the elastic band. We're going to close it, seal it, and then this sits on a dark shelf for 1 to 6 weeks. Definitely 1 week. I do it for 2 weeks. Just going to clean my hands. I leave it for 2 weeks. Now, ideally, you've got some kind of labeling system. I've just got these little stickers, and I'm going to say sauerkraut because 2 weeks from now, you could forget what it was. If I say sauerkraut, and I put today, and I put today's date is 25 of the 5th, but beneath write the words burp, and beneath that write the words ready. So it's an anaerobic process. The bacteria is going to start chewing the fiber from the cabbage and breaking it down and producing gas. So you're going to need to burp it because a lot of pressure will be built up in it. So the whole thing starts kind of around day 3. So around day 5, we're going to burp it. So day 5 for us is the 30th of May. And 2 weeks from now is what date? We're on the 25th. So 31st, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7th of June, right, next to ready. So
What
burp,
ready?
sauerkraut, today's date.
We're gonna have like 37 degrees here. Is that still?
Yours is going to be ready sooner. It does depend on the temperature. When it's hotter, the fermentation process happens faster. When it's colder, it takes longer. So you might need to burp it on day 3, and you can eat it maybe in day 10. But the burping process is literally lifting the lid, giving it a bit of oxygen and closing it again.
Okay.
I put these things on a plate in the pantry because they can have juices with all the process and the pressure building up. They start dribbling.
Okay.
But on day 3, you can just jiggle it a bit and you'll see bubbles forming. That's how you know it's alive, it's active, things are happening. The longer you leave it to ferment, the more the probiotics inside it. I do 2 weeks because we need to get on with life as well. You can leave it up to 6 weeks fermenting on a shelf. But from 1 week onwards, it's ready to eat. Now in 2 weeks, open it, taste it a little bit. And when it's good for you, you will feel it. I can't tell you what it will taste like. It tastes salty and it tastes good. And right now, after you've had it for a few times, when you think of it, like now, my mouth is watering just because it's the bacteria that defines what you choose to eat and what you choose to put in your mouth. Once you've got the good gut bacteria, they crave this stuff. So it's pretty immense, the effect they can have on you. So that's how you do it. This goes on a shelf. I'm going to put it on a shelf for 2 weeks, burp it in 5 days. Then it goes out into your fridge and is there for 6 months, sorry. All you need to do is a forkful. You don't need to be eating a mountain. That would be too much. You need a forkful. You can have it with a salad. You can have it with your eggs. It's particularly nice at breakfast. Just aim for a forkful every day. You've got children coming around. They don't eat it. You can dip the fork in and give them to lick the fork. Even that, just the liquid will have a lot of probiotic and nutrients for the children. That's how I get into mine anyway, because they won't eat it. So that's it. I will be sending you the recipe I use to my recipe, and it says a bit of information what you get from it. And this time, because of the technical issues, you'll also get the recording. And the next one, we are going to have one at the end of June because it's necessary. And we're going to ferment carrot sticks because it's a brilliant, refreshing snack and full of probiotics. Any questions before we go?
I was going to ask you, Emily, about the brine. You said if you felt you didn't have enough.
If you didn't have enough and it wasn't enough liquid, you could make your brine solution, and it's 2% salt. That's what you need for the fermentation. 2% salt. That translates to a tablespoon of salt per liter.
Okay.
That's the easiest for me to remember, a tablespoon of salt per liter. So then you go half a tablespoon for 500 mils. You would need what, 100 mils? So
yes, possibly.
Like
to just
that.
Break it down.
Yeah, just a little bit, just to be sure it's covered in the liquid. You need it to be covered under the water. So that,
1 tablespoon, 1 liter.
1 tablespoon to 1 liter of water.
Yeah.
And
then
you just reduce
it down.
Now, any issues? Come on. Are you on Facebook?
Yes.
Right. I've got the inner circle. I'm going to make that the place to ask anything about ferments or anything.
Great.
So join there. I mean, send us a picture if you're
called
worried about how it looks.
Lemon peels. Lemon
What?
peels. It's lemon peels on Facebook.
It's called Lemon Peels Inner Circle.
Okay.
So Yeah, I run things there, but I'm going to make it the place to ask questions for whoever is currently fermenting, just to say, is this okay? Can I take it
Great.
out? Things like that. Okay, so join us there.
Thanks, Emily.
Right, thanks for coming. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Very much. Bye. Bye.